The Rangers and Yankees faced off in the Bronx, and the Rangers got swept. Guess what happened? The Rangers can't hit.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Texas Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as a founder and host of this show. Today, we are joined by Stacey Gotsulias of Locked On Yankees to talk about this series because I'm so angry at my baseball team. I needed some help to talk about this stupid baseball series. I am in a very different place mentally with my baseball team than you are. Stacey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm shocked by the outcome of this series, honestly. Like, I thought it was going to be a letdown series for the Yankees after the Subway Series. And the way my co-host talked up your team, I was thinking to myself, oh man, this might be really rough, especially with your pitching. The pitching I was scared of, going deGrom and Eovaldi back to back. That's a nightmare scenario for any team.
It sure is, and it sure would be if my Texas Rangers could hit. On today's show, we're talking about this series. Another Jacob deGrom gem, another Nathan Eovaldi gem, and more games where the Texas Rangers cannot hit. We'll also talk about, is this a possible playoff preview? I don't think so if this team continues to hit like this, because that has been the story of the year with the Texas Rangers. They have been incredible pitching wise. The starting rotation is the best in all of baseball, with 3 guys who I think, if the season ended today, might finish top 5 in AL Cy Young voting. The only guys who might be ahead of them are, well, Carlos Rodon looked like the best pitcher ever, but you throw anybody out there against this Texas Rangers offense, they look like the best pitcher ever. I have a metaphor for you. If you meet one jerk on the street, then you probably met a jerk. If everybody you meet all day is a jerk, then you're probably a jerk. And it's similar to this Texas Rangers offense. If you face one pitcher who looks incredible and has the game of their life, then okay, you probably ran into a really good pitcher on a really good day. But if every pitcher you face is having their best game of the season, your offense probably stinks. No, it definitely stinks. And getting shut out for the 6th time in 51 games, nearly more than 10% of the games this year, the Texas Rangers have been shut out. I am beyond out of my mind trying to find new ways to say, hey, this offense should be better. And they aren't, because it's been since the start of 2024. Since that World Series banner was raised, this team has forgotten how to hit. They think it's illegal to score runs. And I wish someone would tell them that it's not.
I feel that way about the Yankees sometimes, especially in 2024, because, it felt like they were relying on Judge to do everything in some of those games. And you can't rely on Aaron Judge to do everything all the time. I think for the Yankees this season, not signing Juan Soto was actually a blessing in disguise, because you were able to go out, get Max Fried, who you guys didn't see this series. Max Fried with his, 1.10 ERA. He's insane so far this season. But I know what you're feeling with the offense, because I feel that way with the Yankees, because, Thursday's game could have gone either way. The Yankees only got 5 hits. Rangers got 4 hits. The Yankees only got the 1 run on the home run. You guys kept Aaron Judge off the bases. You got him below 400. He's now at 396. So
Yay, it's a win.
There's a win.
It's funny that you say that, like, oh, I worry about my offense. And I'm looking up and down this lineup, and everybody outside of Oswaldo Cabrera and Austin Wells, everybody who's an everyday regular has an OPS plus north of like 113. Like they're all well above average. Like Trent Grisham has a 942 OPS. Ben Rice has been sensational. Cody Bellinger has really turned it on as of late. Paul Goldschmidt has a career resurgence at 37 that I don't think anybody saw coming. And I heard you talking on the show about, I don't know about Anthony Volpe. Like, he's not that great. He has a 113 OPS. He's playing incredible defense. He's an exceptional base runner. I'm like, I would murder for an Anthony Volpe on this team right now, because oh my gosh, it's been so barren. And it's similar because Corey Seager is out right now. And, the Rangers had one game without him before he went back on the IL. He is on the IL with a hamstring strain. He was on the IL earlier with a hamstring strain. He came off. He played a couple of games, and the last game that he ended up playing was against Detroit, who has been one of the best teams in baseball this year. And he had his best offensive game of the year. He had 2 home runs, one off a lefty he'd never seen before. And he also had a double just for good measure. And the Rangers offense was able to pour on 7 runs the game after that on the Sunday game. That was the Saturday game. They poured on 10 runs in that game against a very, very good Tigers pitching staff. And then the Rangers scored, I believe it was 8 runs the game after with no Corey Seager, something they had not been able to do. And I thought, okay, all right, you can kind of levy things up. I mean, Jake Berger was sent to the minor leagues for a couple weeks. He's been very, very good since he's come back. But it's just all these different guys who are, they learned from the mistakes last year of not relying too much on the young guys who aren't proven to step up and be great, or guys who had great career seasons in 2023 to be exactly that. They brought in Jock Peterson, who's been a stable bat for over a decade. At this point, they brought in Kyle Higashioka, who's a solid guy coming off of a career year. Probably wasn't going to repeat that, but still should be solid. And he's been kind of bad. I mean, also Marcus Semien, who has been 3 of the last 6 seasons, finished top 3 in MVP voting. And he's been awful too. It's just everybody. And the second one person starts coming out of a slump, somebody else starts going into a slump. It's just a cascading effect of just mired in mediocrity. And if this offense was just medium bad, I really think this team right now would have the best record in all of baseball. But alas, they're extra bad.
Yeah, I find that shocking with the guys that you have in your lineup. And I know I did joke about Anthony Volpe, but whenever I do complain about Anthony Volpe on my show, he starts hitting again. So it tends to, even though he doesn't watch my show, I know he doesn't, but it's like the universe, it lights a fire under his rear end and he suddenly starts hitting when I complain about him. And I'm not really complaining that much about him. It's just what the Yankees did to Oswald Peraza in favor of Anthony Volpe, and the fact that they are giving Anthony Volpe so many chances and not giving Oswald Peraza the same chance annoys me. That's a whole rant for a whole other show. As for the offense, I figured, because April Bellinger was not doing anything, and I just figured it was a slow start. Seems to be, because he's been doing really well. He had a 15-game hitting streak and, starting to hit home runs and just starting to be the guy who comes up. You're just like, oh, okay, now it's not like, oh God, it's Bellinger. Now it's, oh, cool, Bellinger's up. I like that switch. I like when that happens when you're watching games. Judge hasn't really fallen off. As you mentioned, Goldschmidt, who expected this?
That looks incredible.
I figured because he had a really good April. I'm like, all right, he'll fall off a little in May, but he hasn't fallen off in May. I don't know what is going on with him. It's possible he could have the opposite season that he had last year, where he was abysmal for the first few months and then he was good like the last 2. So maybe he'll be really good the first few months of this season and then fall off at the end. Who knows? But it is frustrating when you have people on your team that can hit and they don't. Because I know you look at the lineup right now for the Yankees and they're, a number of the guys are doing well, but it's not going to stay like this the whole season. Some of these guys are going to fall off and then we're going to be complaining, because it always does under Aaron Boone. There's always some sort of cratering that happens in the middle of summer. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now I'm happy, but come back in July when they're, oh, this is the worst July the Yankees have had since 1990. Because, that sort of thing has been happening the last few seasons.
Yeah. And I'm like really impressed by the depth of the Yankees offense, because I thought whenever they, missed out on Soto, I knew the pivot was coming. I thought that was probably going to be a better allocation of resources, no matter who you got. But I saw the rest of this lineup and I thought, okay, that still doesn't move the needle of me. It still looks like Aaron Judge and friends. I mean, you look at this game in the finale, you look at the guys who are batting, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I mean, Vivas, I've literally never heard of that guy. I've never heard of Vizcarra. I know who Oswald Peraza is, but he hasn't been moving the needle at all this year. And I thought, okay, there's a lot of pressure on Jason Dominguez to be great. There's a lot of pressure on Cody Bellinger to bounce back. And Trent Grisham really has been, I think, the thing that shocked me the most. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt's been an MVP in the past. He also had some really great defensive plays, including on the ball that was hit by Jock Peterson. That ball was hit to third base and coming off of the base to, make sure that the run didn't score and it wasn't a tie game, giving up that single and saying, hey, I know that I can give my pitching staff a chance. But if I let this ball get away, then that is absolutely going to be a run, and not worrying about, tagging out Jock Peterson at first base. But Trent Grisham turning it on at age, 28? He's been an incredibly elite, defender out there in center field. Then occasionally he'll have some pop, but like he's leading off. He's probably the second best hitter this year on the Yankees outside of maybe Ben Rice. But I mean, you have Aaron Judge doing even next level Aaron Judge things, but Trent Grisham has been incredible. And I did not see any of these things coming for the Yankees.
None of us did.
Well, it's good to know that nobody saw that coming, just like nobody saw this Texas Rangers pitching staff being maybe the best in baseball. We're talking about the rotations next, including the guy who's the best on the Yankees right now. The Rangers wanted, making Chris Young look really smart because the two guys he pursued this offseason might just be the first and second best pitchers in the American League right now. Talk about all that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you always talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. A shout out to the Everydayers making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. On tomorrow's show, I'll be looking at a more grand scheme view of this team through 50 games. What are 5 things we've learned about this team that makes me want to throw things at my television? We are here with Stacey Gotsulias of Locked On Yankees talking about this Yankees-Rangers series and what we saw. Despite some really bad offense for the most part, was some great starting pitching and some great pitching on both sides. Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom, even Patrick Corbin had a pretty good start against an incredibly talented Yankees offense. But I left being very impressed by these Yankees starters. Part of it is because this Rangers offense is just so bad, but a part of it was just some really great pitching by guys who I didn't have high expectations for. Will Warren, Ryan Yarbrough looked incredible, and Carlos Rodon in the finale. Shaky early, but oh my goodness, what a finish. And that's not even to talk about Max Fried, the best starters and for both these teams probably didn't pitch. Tyler Mahle has the lowest ERA for the Rangers. And Max Fried has been incredible for your Yankees.
Yeah, Will Warren, let's talk about him first because this was his 3rd good start in a row. And he had 2 of them on the road. And the problem with Will Warren when he first started out this season, of course, no one really expected Will Warren to be in the rotation because Garrett Cole got hurt, Luis Gil got hurt, Marcus Stroman got hurt. So there were a whole bunch of things that happened that made this be where Will Warren was in the middle of the Yankees rotation. He had experience last year. He was on the Scranton taxi squad, we like to call it, where he was just going back and forth between Scranton and New York or Scranton and Philadelphia because he pitched in Philadelphia when the Yankees were there. Like it wasn't a great experience for him, but I said on my show, I think it actually did help him because he got the experience of being in the major leagues. He didn't have success right away, and he had to work in the offseason to get better. I think that actually helped him. And in his first few starts, you would see flashes of what you guys saw the other night from him with all those strikeouts. He would strike some guys out, but then like there would be other instances where he'd get someone to 0-2 and he'd walk them, or 0-2, give up a double, like that sort of thing. Like he just didn't have that out pitch. And he seems to be putting it all together. I know he worked on some stuff in the offseason. They were trying to mold him like a Michael King because he has a lot of pitches that he works with, and they seem to be working for him now. So yeah, I was really impressed.
Definitely look like Michael King. That kind of reminds me of Jack Leiter's development too. Of Jack Leiter this season has been really good at getting up 0-2, and then he's tried to be too fine when he gets to 0-2. He tries to make the perfect pitch as opposed to just trusting that, hey, when you're throwing 99 with that kind of life, and you've also got a sinker, and you've also got a really nasty slider, and a really nasty changeup, and a really nasty curveball, just do what you did. Keep doing that, and you'll get outs and maybe strikeouts too.
Yep. And then as for Carlos Rodon, this is my theory. going to sound very silly. I think he's pitching better because he's allowed to have a beard. This is the first time he's had a beard with the Yankees, because any other time when he's gotten into trouble, the way he got into trouble, in early in Thursday's game, he would lose it. And this season, now that he has facial hair, he's had really only like one bad start and other starts that were a little iffy, but there were still like good moments in them. And he's just been so strong lately that I really think it's the beard. I think the facial hair policy going away has really helped Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, and I mean, Max Fried has been the best pitcher in all of baseball this year. I mean, he's 6-0 in 10 starts. He's averaging over six innings per start, basically a strikeout per inning. I mean, basically no home runs given up, and a 1.29 ERA, a 3.08 ERA plus, or 3.06, excuse me, ERA plus. Wow, that's so much worse, because he pitches in such a hitter-friendly park. And Yankees fans might not remember this, but the Rangers were the ones that kind of pushed the Yankees, made it as close as it was. And they're the reason probably why the bidding got up to $200 million. Because Chris Young, the Rangers general manager, was between two starting pitchers. The Rangers' biggest need this offseason was to bulk up the rotation, to beef it up. They didn't know what they were going to get in Malley, and they thought John Gray and Cody Bradford would be bigger parts of this rotation. They've been both on the 60-day IL since the season started. We'll see if we get them in June or July. But they needed one big splashy free agent starting pitcher, and they were between Nathan Eovaldi and Max Fried. Eventually, the Yankees outbid the Rangers, and that's looking like, wow, that was a great guy to target because he's been incredible. And then maybe the second best pitcher in the American League has been Nathan Eovaldi. He has found another gear. The velocity is coming back to form, but the curveball, he's found something new with that curveball. He is a 4-pitch pitcher, and he can throw any pitch in any part of the zone in any count to any hitter, and that is just so difficult to game plan against. So also switch up his delivery. Sometimes he'll quick pitch you. Sometimes he'll pitch it a little bit slower. He never goes with the same pitch as the primary pitch back-to-back starts. I mean, one day he'll have, 33% fastballs, and that'll be the most he throws any pitch. The next time it'll be the splitter he'll feature. The next time it'll be the curveball. Then it'll be the cutter. You just never know what's coming with Nathan Eovaldi. And this game, the Yankees made him work. This was one of the hardest that he's worked. But to me, what epitomizes how good he is that at bat to Aaron Judge, when he went down 3-0, 3 really close pitches, good pitches to try and get Aaron Judge to chase. Then he goes and gets strike one, gets strike two, and then gets strike three with the most perfect splitter you could possibly throw, just touching the bottom of the zone. There's nothing Aaron Judge could have done with it. There's nothing anybody could have done with it. And that's the kind of stuff you're seeing. And then Jacob deGrom, people know who he is, and he's healthy this year. He is just healthy. He's made his 10th start of the year, and I'm not worried about his elbow exploding anymore. And he's just looked like the version of Jacob deGrom that he has been for his entire career, which is the best pitcher on earth. Like, he has been sensational this year. And so far, he's the Rangers' third best starter, which is why it drives me so insane. The bullpen's been fine, not great, but not as terrible as it was last year. But it's just this offense that I keep coming back to. If you just scored 2 runs in this game, that's not a lot of runs. The Rangers probably would have won it. And it's just so infuriating to watch. Probably for me, the most infuriating way to watch loss is seeing an absolute gem from a starting pitcher wasted. And I think this Yankees team, another thing that I didn't expect for them why I was low on the Yankees, I didn't think that the Yankees, I think I didn't pick them to make the playoffs, which looks very silly right now. But it's because I didn't trust the depth of this offense behind Aaron Judge, and I trust the bullpen to be fine. But especially once there were injuries to the rotation, especially once Garrett Cole went down, I was like, I don't think this rotation can step up. And so far they very much have. It seems like it's not been likely guys like the Will Warren.
Yeah, okay, first of all, we had Cookie Carrasco in the rotation for a while. He's with Scranton right now because he wasn't picked up on waivers. Ryan Yarbrough, okay, he's a good pitcher, but he throws 86 miles an hour. He also throws 70 miles an hour, and his pitches move like crazy. He's also a lefty, so it's so funny in this pitching environment where you have guys firing 100 like it's not a big deal, and then you have someone like Ryan Yarbrough throwing pitches at you. You don't know what to do. And no offense to some of your guys, but some of them look really silly the other night swinging against his pitches.
Offense to them.
Yeah.
I mean offense to them.
Yeah. Just unbelievable what is happening right now. This feels similar in a way to 2019. The Yankees had a lot of injuries. They had like 30 guys on the IL that season. And they ended up winning 103 games because every guy that they brought in had like a 2-week period where on the offensive side, they were like Babe Ruth in 1927. Like Mike Tauchman. Who else did they bring in that year? Like they brought in all these random guys to help them out that year. And I feel like the rotation is working out in that way, where these guys you don't expect to do well are doing well. I mean, who would have expected Ryan Yarbrough to have that many strikeouts? I mean, he only pitched 5 innings, but still, other than the innings, he went toe-to-toe with Jacob deGrom. Like, if you look at their stats from last night, like, they're pretty close to each other. It's just, it's funny to me how baseball works, right? Because you can't predict it.
You really can't. And it's the same thing for the Rangers. Like the Rangers have the best rotation in all of baseball, and 2 guys that were supposed to be huge parts of this rotation in John Gray, who took a liner off the forearm in spring training. He's going to be out until July or maybe August. And Cody Bradford, who was really good last year, a really underrated guy, another soft tossing lefty who's got pinpoint command and a great changeup. He was excellent when he was starting last year. He had elbow tightness or forearm tightness. He hasn't pitched yet so far this season. Thankfully, avoided the worst of it. He started throwing again, expecting sometime in June. They've also had IL stints for both Jack Leiter, who was out for 3 weeks with a blister, and also Kumar Rocker. I mean, they brought in Patrick Corbin. It's not just that Patrick Corbin has been good, because he has been good. He's got a 3.59 ERA, and he had been the worst starting pitcher in baseball for the last half decade. The Rangers saw something there. They legitimately saw something, and they have fixed it. And not only that, but he didn't have a spring training. They signed him about a week before the season started. He had one, simulated game. He threw 80 pitches or so before he was thrust into the fire. And the first start he made was against the Cubs, who have been an incredible offense. That was when they were, at their peak, when everybody was crushing it for the Cubs. So to have this many gem-like performances, and Leiter's been better than his numbers. Rocker has also been better than his numbers. A couple of bad starts for both of them have kind of inflated that. But this rotation has been not just good, but freaking fantastic. And it's why it drives me insane. It's also why I think if this is a playoff series, if this team does sneak into the playoffs, they might be the team that absolutely nobody, even the Yankees, want to face. Now, I just teed it up very expertly for this third segment, talking about a possible playoff preview. Stacey, if this were a playoff series, do you think this is possibly a playoff preview with these 2 teams facing off? Maybe even an ALCS preview?
That would be something, wouldn't it? I would much rather face the Rangers in a 7-game series than a 5-game series, because there's room for error in a 7-game series. There is no room for error in a 5-game series. I've witnessed that so many times with the Yankees losing so many division series in the 2000s, where when they finally faced the Angels in 2009 after losing to them in 2002 and 2005 in the division series, and they finally faced them in an ALCS. I mean, the 2009 team was a good team, but I was like, when people were like, oh, they're going to lose to the Angels again, I said, no, they're not. It's a 7-game series. It's completely different. They'll be fine. They're going to win it in 6, which they did.
Well, hey, every time that the Yankees have faced the Rangers in a 5-game series, they've won. But every time they've faced them in a 7-game series, they've lost. All one time that's happened.
Yes.
As you can see, the pennant behind me, that's 2010.
Yeah.
You can't see 2023 because my head is shrunk, but it's there, I promise. But I feel like this would be a really great playoff series. And I'm curious, you talked about on your show earlier this week about, your co-host talked about how the Rangers are built to be a postseason team. And I feel like that might be the case, that if this Rangers team sneaks into the postseason, for me, it's just, if they get in there, even if they're a wild card team, you throw this rotation, I don't care who you're facing, I don't care how bad your offense is, you might stumble into a couple home runs, and that might be enough with how good this rotation is, especially if it goes down to just 4 men. I think at this point, you put Jack Leiter as your 4 starter, then you throw Kumar Rocker in your bullpen, and then if you have a John Gray and a Cody Bradford coming back, it's like that fixes the pen and makes it probably pretty darn good. I don't know if this team can make it to October, even with the division and the rest of the AL not being that good. From from what you saw this week and what you've seen from the rest of the AL, do you think this Rangers team is gonna figure it out? Do you have confidence that this team could figure out how to hit enough with how good this pitching staff's been?
I think they could. Yeah. Yeah. I do. I do. Because they have good hitters on that team. They'll figure it out at some point. It's like you said earlier, it always feels like when one guy's hitting really well and someone isn't, then the person who wasn't starts hitting well and the guy who was doesn't, because that always seems to happen with baseball. It's like, no, we want you all to hit at the same time. That's our dream. We just want the whole lineup to just like, in the Bugs Bunny cartoon, just keep going around the bases. That's what we want from you guys. We don't want any outs in the lineup. You don't want to look at a lineup and think, like how you said Thursday's lineup with the Yankees, because I thought the same thing. Getaway day, game day after a night game and an earlier day game than usual, like a half hour
so
earlier.
Early.
Yeah. And
11:30 my time.
Right. Yeah. It's a brunch game for you guys. And looking at the bottom of that lineup, I thought to myself, oof, against Nathan Eovaldi, I'm like, they're going to be lucky if they get 2 hits out of anyone there. And, again, it was just a lucky game. They could still be playing right now if Bebos didn't hit that home run.
They could be, but alas, they aren't. This was just infuriating. And for me, the thing about the offense is like, this is gonna be the offense. Like, this is the team they're kind of locked into. Jock Peterson signed he's got an opt-out after this year, and then it's a mutual option for $18.5 million in 2027. But if he keeps hitting like this, there's no way he doesn't opt out. But like, you look up and down this line, like, this is what it's going to be for a while now. Jake Berger is not even arbitration eligible just yet. The only position that's like up for grabs is going to be catcher, and center field. It's eventually going to be Evan Carter. He's right now on the IL with a leg issue. Thankfully, not the back issue that sidelined him for all year last year. But then even in the depth positions, Zeke Duran and Josh Smith, those are your utility or super utility guys. Seager and Simeon up the middle. Josh Young at third base, he's been really good. Wyatt Langford didn't look amazing in this series, but he's been really darn good this year and at times last year. And it's like, for everyone saying like, oh, just cut like, where do you, it's like you feel like you can upgrade everywhere, but also nowhere, which is, I feel like for a GM, like so paralyzing. It's like, what do you do? Like, these are the guys who got us there in 2023 and won it all. Like, where do you make a change? Like, where would you, where would you start if just looking at the sign of like, who could you even like change out?
I don't know if I would. Like, I really feel like, the season is so long. Like, honestly, it's not even June. Some teams, it takes a while for them to turn things on. I mean, look at the year the Nationals won. I brought up 2019 earlier, but like, they were 18-31 at one point, that team, and they went on to win the World Series. And when you were talking about teams that are built for the playoffs, Brian brought it up on our show. It's really true. I feel like, and I don't want to insult them, but I feel like a lot of the AL Central teams are not built for the playoffs, which is why most of them got knocked out early and you don't really see them get into the World Series because they're not built for the playoffs. I think the Rangers have a good enough team to definitely make the playoffs. I really do. I think they just have to get things going. I don't know how they do that. I don't know if they have to shake up the lineup a little bit, but I really do. I think they have the team that can make the playoffs.
It's wild because they've done those dramatic moves. I mean, they've fired their offensive coordinator, Donnie Ecker, who was instrumental in them winning the 2023 World Series. They don't do that without him. They brought in Aaron Boone's brother, Brett, off the podcasting mic. And, he's related. He gives them a little bit different of a look. He's more in charge of messaging as opposed to, the idiosyncrasies of like, specifics of biomechanics and swing decisions and things like that. He's more just to relate like, hey, I've been in your shoes. I know what it's like to, be hitting like crap. And I know what it's like to be on top of the world and how to kind of balance that mentally. But it feels so weird and it feels so frustrating. This team's just a game below 500, like not that far below 500. Like you look at the results and it's like, they're there. Like literally just last week, it felt like this team was putting things together. Like just last week, they were in the middle of the longest winning streak of the season. And all these losses, they've been close. But yeah, like the Tigers, the Royals, they don't hit enough in the bottom of their lineups to get through October. They've got great pitching, but I don't think they do that. You look at the Mariners, they've been better offensively this year, but I don't know that I trust that to hold up with Houston. They're always going to pull pitching out of nowhere. Hunter Brown has bene amazing. Framber Valdez is a really good pitcher, but I don't know that they still can keep churning out the depth. But the Yankees and the Rangers, I think these are the two powers of the AL. I don't trust that Tigers bottom of their lineup to keep hitting like they do. And I think with what I've seen from the series from the Yankees, I think they are by far the best team in the American League. The record may fluctuate, but with what they've done from the bullpen being incredible, from the starting rotation being incredible, the top end is great. And Aaron Judge we barely talked about Aaron Judge, and he's hitting freaking 400. He's been the best hitter in the world. And he was already the best hitter in the world. And somehow he keeps getting better. And I don't understand how he does it. I would like one Aaron Judge, please. That would maybe fix this lineup. But at points, I've been so frustrated with his offense that I've said, I'm like, I don't even know if Aaron Judge in his current form, maybe he would just regress to being bad with how contagious it feels like it's been, the hitting funk in this lineup. But this was definitely an interesting series. I feel like it had some playoff feel to it because both these teams are incredibly talented. Both these teams have a World Series or bust expectations. And, the next time these two teams face, I hope my team can finally figure out how to score some runs, or just when they face anybody. I hope they figure it out. But this was a great week for you, a great series. I am left much more impressed with the Yankees than I was. Stacey, where can the fine folks listening to Locked On Rangers find you and all of your good work?
Well, you can find us at Locked On Yankees. Watch us on YouTube. Help us on YouTube if you want to. We've even had Astros fans say that they watch our show, which is shocking when you think about it. I'm on Blue Sky at stayscottsbaseball.com, and I'm on Instagram, also Locked On Yankees, all one word, no underscore or anything like that. And if you want to see my personal Instagram, I don't know, SRGots.
Well, y'all listening to Locked On Yankees, you can find me on Twitter at Bryce Paddock, Blue Sky at Bryce Paddock. You can find Locked On Rangers at Locked On Rangers. We got the baseball one, not the hockey one. I will not be talking about Henrik Lundqvist. Is that a New York Rangers person? I think
he retired a while ago.
Okay, well, he was at one point. I'm close enough. That's about as much New York Rangers talk as I've got. Stacey, thank you so much for joining me, y'all. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, if you're a Yankees fan, it'll be easier for you. If you're a Rangers fan, keep trying to enjoy baseball.